Hey there, what's up? How is it going? Let's talk about if I or if you were to be born a different gender, would you be comfortable being a cisgender person who's average, a 5 or 6, or a trans person who's above average? So I asked this question to myself a while back because I had some thoughts of I was born in Arabia, so would I have stayed in Arabia if I were born a female and staying in a very, let's say, not female friendly society, although it's not really that bad because I was born in Kuwait, and Kuwait is a country where, yeah, women do not really have all the rights and all the freedom to do whatever they want. But in a sense, they do. They have jobs, they drive cars, they can buy houses, and they can travel alone at this point, right? So they can do pretty much everything. What they cannot do can be in relation to certain positions of power in the country because it's still very old school, man dominated kind of world. So it becomes a little bit like, yes, you're a woman, you're gentle, you're soft, you have to be there. And many women kind of like this gentleness that it's given to them. So they kind of take advantage of the benefits and, no problems. But it becomes problematic if you're one of the ones who are queer or supporting queer ideas or not religious. Then, yeah, things will be a bit more complicated. It's going to keep getting in my mouth if I put it down. No, let's deal with it. So I was thinking, I have left the country. I wanted to leave the country of my birth since I was 12. And I remember this because I remember what I said to my parents, and I was very serious about it. And from that moment on, I was already, actually, I was 13, 14, not 12. And from that moment on, I decided to study very hard so I can get a degree, so I can really leave and be having a good life, not just leave and have a somewhat good life. Does that make sense? Right? So, because I come from Kuwait, Kuwait has a lot of money. I've never really struggled or had to suffer or pay taxes or try to fight for anything. Like, I was grown into a place where they told me, you don't need to study hard. All you need to do is graduate with anything, and the government will give you a job, and you don't have to pay taxes. When you want to get married to a woman, the government will pay you money. And if you want to get a house, and you're married to a Kuwaiti woman, the government will support and pay for it. And then they will give you the loan and build it for you, and then you can pay it back slowly at a much lower price price tag, which is excellent. Issues come in if you are not following what they want you to follow. So if you're someone who's not religious, if you're someone who wants to marry someone who's not Kuwaiti, if you're someone who's queer, if you're someone who is anything except a Muslim straight cis person, then you don't get these benefits. So it's a very manipulative way of getting people into doing what they want you to do. And with this, they kind of control you into doing what they want because there are no political parties. It's one party. God is everything, girl. Mm-mm-mm. Now, what we got from this is that if I were born there, even though I would be losing some of my rights, I might not even be queer because at this point of my life, I am attracted to men in some sense, but I find women beautiful. But I would not really say I want to be or I think I will. I'm not going to say never to anything, honestly, from this point on in life. But I would probably prefer masculine energy around me, whether you're man, woman, non binary person. I don't discriminate. But you're gonna have to kind of give me what I asked for, or what I kind of desire, and I hopefully can provide you with what you desire. Fairness. So this is why, like, if I find someone who is, compatible, they're dominating, they're masculine, and they balance my chill, feminine energy, then we can be fine. There's no problem what kind of genitals you have. Back to the point. I asked a trans woman friend of mine. Ooh, this matches. So I asked a trans woman friend of mine, would not call a friend at this point, in Vigo, in Galicia, where I lived before moving here, about this. And then she was one of those trans women who are obsessed with surgeries. So I asked her, like, you cannot be thinking about surgeries and being the best perfect version of a female, because not all women are curvy and busted and have the skinny waist and whatever. This is actually what women have been fighting against for a while. And you're here just kind of literally getting yourself into the same trouble mentally of the things that women want to get rid of. So she got really upset, and this is why I'm saying we're not friends in some sense. So we kind of stopped talking from that moment on, because I don't want to have many surgeries. I just want to have the bottom surgery, hopefully. I kind of like myself. I don't want to hide my past. I don't want to, be something I'm not. I'm gonna be trans forever. It's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to hide it and be cis passing so that I can be treated like a cis person and then think I am a true cis woman. No, this is me. I don't need to be cis. I'm cute. You like it? Cool. Back to the point. Now, when I asked my friend this question of whether she would be okay if she was born cis woman, cis female, and was not the prettiest like she is now. She would be like, I would still have the surgeries they're trying to fix to be the prettiest girl ever. And I told her, like, then you have mental issues. And that was kind of the shock for her. I'm like, you're trying to reach something because you're trying to kind of cover a point of beauty. Maybe something happened to you, but like, this physical appearance of beauty is not what's going to make you feel content and happy with your life, right? And this is what, like, women have been saying for a long time. That's why they're trying to be working and going and figuring out what they want in their life, and not just be a pretty person that gets, shagged every once in a while because a man desires you. That's not the point of womanhood, or at least in my perspective, the women I talked to or met in my life, that's not what they are. They could be beautiful, but that's not their 100% identity, right? So to be someone who's very young, like this trans girl who's 18 years old, who's so obsessed with beauty, like she wants to do her face, full face. She already got her vocal cords chopped off, and she shaved her Adam's apple. I do have an Adam's apple, but if I look up, like if I do look down, really, like if I'm normal to speaking, you don't see it. And but like, because my voice is kind of placed up and I study linguistics and phonetics, so I know how to control all of this scenario. I put effort. She doesn't want to do anything with effort. Um, she already got her breasts done a couple months ago. She's 18. She just turned 18, and she's gonna get, I don't know what else. Like, she's gonna chop these off to get her shoulders smaller, and then maybe she's like fantasizing about surgeries. And for me, it was like toxic. I don't want to be around you because you don't understand exactly at this age what you're trying to do. So I'm not going to tell you anymore whether you're right or wrong, but I don't think I want to be around you because it's just hurts me to have these superficial wants and needs, and you're just fighting so hard for it. And then I have to talk to you about them and be okay with it. And like, yeah, me too. No, girl. No, like me, no. Me zero. Right? So what we did is ask this question, and then I asked myself this question, like, she's from Spain, so no problem, right? So she's from Spain and she was born in Spain as a cis woman, no problem. Like, I had a different scenario. So I was born in Kuwait, which is an Arabian country, and I was thinking, like, yeah, like if I were, and I could think of my sister. So I have an older sister who could not do study abroad alone because she was a woman, because my parents wouldn't let her, my father wouldn't let her, right? And my mom would just say whatever to my father because that's just how the society works. You listen to your husband because God tells you this is the guy, the man who's supposed to run your life, and trust in this person because he prays. Awesome. Good for you. Pray. Go pray. Go pray away. And eventually, I had to ask myself the same question. And my answer was yes, I would. I would actually stay and probably wouldn't have left. I don't know if I'm going to be like happy with my relationships with men and everything, but I would be content with myself and my body. Like, if I was born a Kuwaiti girl, woman, I would be probably would have gone to girls only schools. My parents would tell me to cover up in some sense and force me to push for it. But like, even when I was born a guy, I did not do everything they wanted. Like, they never wanted me to be a musician, and I just went and bought a guitar. They never wanted me to have pets, and I went and bought a cat. And I told him, like, I'm gonna do it. Now you can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna do it. And if you keep throwing my things away, I'm gonna keep buying more and more and more until you let me have one or two of those things because I decided for this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna save up for this and I'm gonna buy it because I want it. Girl. So eventually this gets me into an idea of like, okay, well, what if I am born as a Kuwaiti woman, but it's not the most beautiful Kuwaiti woman? Like, I think I'm pretty now, even though I was actually a bit down because I don't know my hair, my style, but I think I'm pretty now. So, if I was born a Kuwaiti woman like this, I'll be super happy. Honestly, I would probably just go visit other countries and go back to my country because I would have my girlfriend circle, which I could not have growing as a guy in Kuwait. And I could be wearing the things that I want, doing all the makeup stuff that I want. It's legal to show your hair, it's legal to dress kind of the way you want. Maybe not to wear a bikini in the street, which is typical in every place, but all the things that are there are kind of not making me think I should not be living there because I do not drink as much alcohol at this point. So I could just go and drink in some other country every summer and come back because all I do is literally work, play my guitar. So music is very important for me. So that's kind of if there's a problem with music, then there's a problem. But I've seen a couple of videos of Arabian women playing the oud or even playing in groups. Mostly it's going to be groups of men who play music, but I've seen some women literally going against the current and deciding, like, I want to do this, and they do it. So if I wanted to be into the music world, I can. It's not illegal. The only difference is I cannot play in public, in a bar, or in a park. Maybe I could, honestly, but not like a public park where there is a mosque and religious people, right? So there are areas where you should and shouldn't do music. But besides this, I would be able to dance. I would be able to get into dancing, and it's not going to be a bad thing. I would be able to, have girl times and do the things that I do literally now here in Spain, but over there with people of my kind. I mean, don't get me wrong, Spain is awesome, it's amazing, but I'm never going to be Spanish. I'm always going to be less of a person in some sense. Many people are really friendly to me and they're trying to share and talk and everything, but there's still a difference in culture because the way they act, the way I act, then we have like a little bit of a like a choque, they say in Spanish. And then it becomes like, yeah, but like I like this, and all these friends I have from Spain also like the same thing. We talk about the same thing, but you don't. So they will try and include you in things. And this happens in every society, right? So the United States and Spain are very, very welcoming societies. Arabia is, in a sense, welcoming if you're a female. If you're a guy, it depends. Like if you're touristing, like going there for a week, a month, they'll be very friendly to you because they want to send this like amazing image of this country, the best thing. They will just hang out with you every day because they know you're leaving. But if you live there, it's going to be very hard to have a circle of local Arab community. But once you get in, then you're inside the whole circle. So it's not one person usually. It's very, very, very community-based interaction, right? Which is kind of why I kind of prefer Northern Europe in some sense because I choose my friendships based on interest and common grounds. And in here in the south of like Spain in general, the friendships are based on community and group. So you don't have to have everything in common or you have things in common. You just have to act the way that people act and agree and like to certain things and drink and, interact in some sense. And that's it. Like many people who I'm seeing on Bumble have in their profile, I do anything and everything. I just let's do anything, any plan. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be friends with you because I'm very specific. I'm not gonna be doing anything and everything. I want to do specifically music, maybe some dancing, some parks, talk about things, go to talks, manifestations. What do you call those? Protests, and that's kind of where I go. Like I'm not gonna be into things I'm not into just because we're a group of people and we have to do things together. No. So now my question for you is if you're a trans person, trans masc, trans femme, trans woman, trans man, non-binary, non-binary probably out because I don't think in society you can be born non-binary in your country and then, sorry. this doesn't apply, but try to think about it. Um, if you're a trans masculine, if you're a trans man, would you have left your country or your city if you haven't actually changed anything? Then that doesn't apply to you. But I'm thinking, like, would you have wanted to be an average looking man as a cis man, or a above average looking person as a trans man? Same thing if you're a trans woman. Would you be okay being born a normal, average cis woman, or an above average trans woman? Intriguing, right? My answer was very clear because I'm a foreigner, but also I think the only surgery I want is literally the bottom surgery. And although I like to be pretty and stuff, I don't really think of my physical appearance as an important thing. It's just my idea of myself and how my body parts are interacting with me. And this is where I'm having most of my issues with transition. It's not really outside, mostly because I do dress up and I'm colorful. People are really, really nice to me. And because I'm bringing something different with my hair, with these scarves. So, like, I get positive interactions from both men and women. Not everyone, of course, but so far, so good. So what? So that's that. I don't know if it's a wish. For now, I like being who I am, although I am changing, my body is changing, so vitamin D is actually back on track. I just switched to monotherapy too, which is helping me with my breast development, and actually, more importantly, I'm less depressed because androcore messes up with your dopamine receptors because it messes up with your pituitary glands. And when that happens, you get to be a bit more depressed. And I just had really negative image of myself on Androcore in transition, especially the first year. I think that's a very bad decision. Maybe you should do it for the first 3 months, and then I think people should just switch to monotherapy, because going on Androcore in the first year or 2 years of your transition, when you're not the prettiest or the best and you don't see the changes, you're going to be very depressed because the angel core makes you depressed even more. Let me fix my little hairies. Besides this, I would have probably stayed in a country that has less freedoms if I were born a cis woman, because yeah, like if I was born a cis woman in Kuwait, I would be having female friends, which I only have female friends in some sense here, which was not allowed for me. Like, girls do not have guy friends. Only very, very, very few percentage who are also like the really, really bad girls who just want to party and do drugs and hurt their parents in some sense. Maybe not, but there are some people who are. But in general, like, I just want to be the typical girly girl, play my music, maybe find a little group. We meet together, we talk, we hang out, we go meet some guys, and maybe get married even, right? Like, I don't want to have kids now. I don't think I would want to have kids if I'm a woman as well, but it could be different, especially if I was born in a different body and have my family around and be accepted by my family, because I've never been accepted by my family. So I think that's why I would probably go back, because it's very lonely to be a foreigner without family. And this is why, like, if you think of foreigners who come to your country, be a little gentle. I mean, if they're working and they're doing their best, be a little gentle if they're in their own groups, because they don't have your group. Like, your group is nice to them, but they're not really part of them. So they're different. So eventually they kind of bring their people because they need someone to hang out with. I can manage being alone. I'm part of the LGBT family. Hooray. But besides this, yeah, adventure. So I'm going to head out. I'll see y'all later. Bye.